Right, hello everyone, thanks for coming. This is DiEM25 in Netherlands, responding to the increasing police violence with the student protests going on. So yeah, let's kick it off. Nuno.
Yeah, I think it's essential that we discuss this because it shows how our democracies are failing us. Freedom of speech is being squandered and belittled everywhere, a bit all over Europe. You've seen this with Yanis's ban, now this. And yeah, so I thought it was a pressing issue to discuss.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, definitely we have to talk about that. Personally, I feel that it has been escalating in Netherlands a while. We've been to the XR blockades in the last year, and some at A12 and several airports, and we've seen there that they're getting authorities are getting increasingly impatient with protest. Of course, I think also what affects is that especially in Amsterdam during the Corona time, there were some real riots happening, and the police even got quite traumatized with that, so that probably plays a role as well. But nevertheless, of course, it's not an excuse. We're still supposed to be a democracy and rechtsstaat, as they say here, and yeah, it seems
because you have a right to protest.
that is the sense of it. Yeah, this is essentially in democracy that we have this extra parliamentary means of expressing our voices, and if they are suppressed in this sort of severe way, then then our democracy is in question.
Yeah.
Anybody else wants to comment on that? I have something to say off the top.
A friend of mine was at the protest in Amsterdam. He stayed overnight and he was arrested. He witnessed how the complacency of the police when they were being attacked by Zionist protesters, and the police did nothing. But then they bulldozed the whole area. But they didn't protect them from the Zionist attacks. Would be what made you take a stand against Israel's retribution after the 7th of October attack by Hamas? And then moving on to what's your take on the police violence acted out against peaceful protesters over the past few days all over the world, and specifically in the Netherlands? If you were assaulted by the police, could you describe what was done to you, how it was done to you, and any injuries you might have been left with? How do you think citizens can continue to pressure Dutch universities to condemn Israel after the violent assault we've witnessed in the past few days? In your opinion, can any conclusions be drawn regarding the quality of Western democracies from the way Western authorities have been reacting to the protests? In your opinion, how should the Palestinian-Israeli conflict be resolved to ensure a lasting peace in the region? Following up on the previous question, do you believe there would only be a lasting peace if the US and the EU were to cut financial ties with Israel, and why? And how can we as individual citizens effectively call out for peace? And obviously, if you condemn Hamas, because this is it's an important question, because people tend to blame the left for being pro-Hamas, and that's not the case.
Further in Holland, there are the negotiations between the board of the universities and the students and the personnel of the universities, the teachers and the lecturers. While while negotiating, they filed a complaint, and the MA and the police was coming there to swipe the area.
Now, to also contextualize it a bit with other student protests that have been happening. It started, of course, in the US, and there it took like I think 2 weeks before the Columbia University was cleared out, and here it was like a few hours. So that contrast, I think, is quite telling. I don't know exactly what it tells, but nothing good.
Because I think that by law here in the Netherlands, you need to warn that you're going to make a protest for it to be legal, right? I think there's something like that.
It
So
depends on what kind of protest it is. But yeah, there are laws about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
But
if you have
basically, just going out and speaking up in a public space, you don't need permissions for that. It's when you start blocking streets and stuff, and bring a stage and sound system and stuff like that. Then you need permissions.
Okay, but I think it's a good correlation to make between the protests in the US and here, because they actually here it was only it was not only faster, the response, but it was more violent. I think, at least from the images I saw, it seemed more violent. And I saw some people posting videos of their injuries, head injuries, head trauma. It was not. It's not what you'd expect from a true democracy. Yeah.
I mean, in New York, they did kick out, like when they kicked out the protesters, they were waiting outside their private residences in order to capture them. So yeah, the response was also very heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
But here it's far more about like really kicking them out as fast as possible. Especially, I think that was the case in Germany, where literally after the few, I think less than an hour, even maybe. I mean, it was an extraordinary short time, but yeah, the Freie Universiteit encampment really got cleared out super quick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now this needs to be discussed, and the angle of the hypocrisy of basically ignoring attackers on the Palestinian students and not doing anything about it just shows their bias towards what's going on.
They ignore the message massively.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically.
Nothing started at October 7th, right? Let's start with that. We're having the Nakba Day coming Saturday, and that's what this is about, basically, because that started 76 years ago, and it's still going on, and it's just getting worse and worse. I mean, that's the bottom line, whether it's Hamas fighting the resistance or PLO before them or whatever, that's irrelevant. There will be resistance as long as there's occupation.
Yeah. Maybe how we can find a correlation between Israel's occupation and the occupation of our own freedoms and our democracies by snuffing out our freedom of speech.
Absolutely, that's actually a really powerful point. I mean, you can argue that because Israel is occupying Palestine and the rest of the world is complicit in everything that's going on there, they are also indirectly oppressing us, and in this case actually quite directly, because of what the police is a direct extension of. I mean, police is of course extension of the power, political power.
Yes.
In a very physical way, and now we are like having very concrete examples of that. there was this meme going around. I reposted as well. That when there was this Bevrijdingsdag last weekend, the Freedom Day. There's a picture of a red fist where it's written that niemand is vrij totdat Palestine vrij is. Nobody's free before Palestine is free. And here we see it. Here we see it very clearly.